We're back and with a brand new Chromebook Plus to take a look at. It's the 2025 Lenovo Chromebook Plus 2-in-1 14. It's a mid-range convertible 14-inch Chromebook Plus model powered by the Intel Core 3 N355 processor, and I've hopefully got the optional stylus bundled with this one to show you later on in the video. I shared news of this one back in September, so it's great to see it finally start to become available. This is really the natural successor to 2023's IdeaPad Flex 3i lineup. That range included one of my favourite Chromebooks, the 12.2-inch Lenovo Chromebook Flex 3i, powered by the Intel N100 and in some specs by the N200. 2 years on, it seems Lenovo have dropped both the IdeaPad and Flex branding from the naming, favouring 2-in-1 now to clearly signify that this is a convertible Chromebook. I paid just over £400 for this brand new delivered. That's about $522 US. That was ordering from Very in the UK. I used their 20% off voucher code that I've shared with you guys across the channel's socials, and as I post this video that code is still valid. I'm also hoping to claim £100 cashback from Google, again in another deal I've shared with you guys here and over on the channel's Buy Me a Coffee page. So that should make this a £300 convertible Chromebook Plus model, pretty decent considering it's the time of launch. So this one has a 2025 Intel Core 3 N355 processor, as we've seen in some other recent Chromebook Plus on the channel. It's got 8GB of low-power DDR5 RAM and 128GB of universal flash storage version 2.2. But there are models with up to 256GB to watch out for. So we've got a 65-watt USB-C charger brick. There's no 45-watt chargers in this range at all, which is nice to see. Lenovo claim this will get the 50-watt-hour battery half full in just 30 minutes. And finally, to go with this particular model, I've got the optional bundled stylus. So this is the Lenovo USI Pen 2 Magnetic. It's the same optional one found with the 2024 Lenovo Chromebook Duet 11 that we've seen on the channel. As for power, it's not rechargeable as it has an included battery inside it. And I'll get it right first time this go, it's a Quad A battery, so extra skinny. So let's get to the Chromebook itself, the 2025 Lenovo Chromebook Plus 2-in-1 14. I'm really hoping this brings a lot of the great things from the excellent Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14's build into a convertible version. In the hand, it's feeling good, so we've got an aluminium lid, we've got the new design language from Lenovo with their logo smack bang in the middle. Of course, we've got the Chromebook Plus branding on this one, and it's reminding me a lot of the Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14, of course, that we saw earlier in the year. That's MediaTek powered. So one of the main differences, though, is we've got the two hinges here because this is going to be convertible. I think the other reason it's reminding me of that device as I hold it is because the bottom is very similar with that sort of textured rubber finish to it. So again, looking very similar down there. This is Intel powered though, and that Core 3 N355 does need some ventilation. So you can see there's grills just along that back edge, but there's no grill or vent on the actual bottom of the Chromebook. So that's kind of nice to see. We'll have to see how it handles heat. The colour of this one is lunar grey, but there is also a cosmic blue option available. Size-wise, it's 14 inches. It's got that taller 16:10 aspect ratio display, so it does make the device appear a little bit more square. And build materials, as mentioned, you've got the aluminium lid, but the bottom is ABS plastic, but it's feeling very well put together, very sturdy. Weight-wise, Lenovo say this range starts at 1.5 kg, that's about 3.3 pounds. I'll flash up on screen what I weigh this one in at, but knowing that it's got a touch display, it's not feeling too bad, but it is that little bit on the heavier side. For ports and connectivity, starting on the left-hand side, we've got an HDMI 1.4B port, two USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports. I feel really ungrateful, but wish the trend of both USB-C ports on the same side would just end. A headphone microphone combo jack for audio, and a micro SD card slot. Feels like a while since I've seen a new Chromebook with one, so I guess that's a welcome addition. On the right-hand side, starting on the left, we've got the power button with a built-in LED. Interestingly, no volume rocker, so we normally get a physical volume rocker on a convertible Chromebook, so perhaps that's something that's now gone. I'd imagine that's a standard that comes from Google, not just device manufacturers. We've got two USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 ports. Nice to have two, but I'd still give up one of those to have one of the USB-C ports over here. And we've got a Kensington Nano security slot for if you need to lock this one down. For wireless, it's Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. It could have been nice to see Wi-Fi 7 on a 2025 Chromebook Plus like this, but probably not a major issue for most of us. Let's open up this convertible Chromebook now and show you what it's like when I put the screen all the way back on it. So just to give you an idea of how thick it becomes now if you were using it in tablet mode. So pretty manageable. It's just the weight as usual to think about versus a conventional tablet when you're using it in this way. Taking a look at the keyboard deck, and it's all looking really good on first impressions, very similar to the Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14 with the MediaTek chip. So we've got well-spaced keys, we've got the speakers either side. These ones are Max Audio branded. So it is just the 2 speakers on this Chromebook, not the 4 that we saw on that Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14. We've got a well-sized touchpad, and we've got the sticker for the processor, but no other stickers coming on this one, so just a minimalistic sort of professional look. The material on the keyboard deck feels very premium too, sort of cold to the touch. Doesn't feel quite like the aluminium on the lid, but it also doesn't really immediately feel like plastic. It feels like it might be some sort of blend. It's good to see in the UK we've got the full-size return key, and we've of course got the quick insert key with the new branding and the new launcher with the G branding down on the bottom row there. I think I'll stop calling them new next year as they were first launched at the end of 2024, but basically a very up-to-date, well-spaced keyboard. And that key travel, so I think Lenovo say it's 1.3mm travel, very short, clicky travel, decent space between the keys, so it seems it's going to be nice to type on this one. I'll just overlay some footage to show the optional backlit keyboard that this one has as well. So again, all looking very decent there. The touchpad feels really smooth, it feels well seated for clicks and taps, so I think that's going to be really nice to use. I think it's the same one on the Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14. It's not actually glass, although it feels really smooth, and Lenovo describe it as glass-like mylar for the material. I'll be giving these speakers a full test, of course, before I publish the full review, so if that's something of interest, do ensure you're subscribed and do click that bell to get notified. The one thing from the spec that this keyboard deck is missing is the optional fingerprint reader that would be about here. So over in the US, the model that's launched at Best Buy does come with it. It's probably that same fingerprint reader we've seen on the Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14. The US launch model at Best Buy is also a different color. It's in Lenovo's Cosmic Blue color, and it doesn't get the bundled optional USI pen like we've had with this particular model in the UK. So let me know in the comments which you'd prefer to have out of that fingerprint reader or the stylus. So I've got the Lenovo Chromebook Plus 2-in-1 14 powered up now and set up with my test user, and it's probably a good time now to recap the core spec. So as it's the Chromebook Plus model, I've got the Intel Core 3 N355 processor from this year. There are non-Plus regular Chromebook versions of this model line out there, and they'll have the Intel N150 processor. Either way, it means Chrome OS updates through to June 2035. I've got 8GB of low-power DDR5 RAM, but there's also some of those models of the non-Plus version that'll have just 4GB. I'd likely give those a miss. I've got 128GB of universal flash storage version 2.2, but there are also models with up to 256GB to watch out for. So one nice thing is that the minimum spec seems to be that 128GB. It's also worth keeping in mind that we're still waiting for another 2-in-1 range from Lenovo to launch, and that's going to have up to the Intel Core 7 250U processor. So it's that lineup that I shared news of back in June, so a similar chassis, if not the same one, but more premium internals, including the processors, up to 16GB of RAM, and up to a 512GB SSD for storage. It feels like that's more the natural successor to the previous IdeaPad Flex 5i. Software-wise, you're of course getting all the benefits of Chromebook Plus with the Plus models like this one. Things like having the Magic Editor available in the Google Photos app, as I'm showing you here, are just handy extras that you won't get on regular Chromebooks. I'll link you to another video that covers off more on Chromebook Plus, including the software side. I'm still loving the Chrome OS high royalty references on the Lenovo website too. I'm assuming that's an internal name for Chromebook Plus that probably shouldn't have ever been in the consumer-facing marketing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Checking out the 14-inch IPS touch display, it's in that taller 16:10 aspect ratio as we see on most Chromebooks these days. It's got a WU XGA resolution, so that's 1920 1020 by 1200, and it looks decently bright at a claimed 300 nits of brightness, and it's got more of a gloss finish. Colors look okay, but the spec is nothing impressive there, just covering 45% of the NTSC color space, so fine for general use. All models in this range are pen compatible too, whether they come with the bundled stylus like this one has or not, so that's nice to know. And from my brief testing of it so far, it seems responsive and accurate. Of course, I'll be doing more with it to test it out before the full review is published. The bezels on this display look pretty decent, certainly the sides and the top. Lenovo claim an 89% active area ratio, which I think is their term for the screen to body ratio. In that top bezel, you'll find the 5 megapixel webcam with a manual privacy slider that I'm pleased to say operates really easily. Thanks so much. If you've made it this far into the video, hopefully means it's worth a like, so please do click that thumbs up icon. As always, it's really appreciated. It'd be great to hear from you in the comments, so let me know what you think of this one so far or what you'd like to know for when I put the full review together. And in the meantime, if you're looking for another Chromebook video to watch, how about the one on screen now? Cheers.